Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm so excited to do. It is going to be my top 10 eyeshadow palettes for spring. Alright, it's actually 11. Okay, it's actually 12. 12 is my final answer. 12 is my final answer. Let's go ahead and hop into these top palettes for spring. Okay, you will see why it is 12 as we go along, but the very next day after this video goes live is officially the first day of spring, even though as I'm sitting down to film this, it is about to start snowing in Iowa. I had a sweater on and I was like, I can't film this video in a sweater, so instead I put on this yellow crop top with my sweatpants, and I'm gonna go put my sweater back on after this video is over. I love making eyeshadow palette videos. They're some of my favorite to do. If you haven't seen, I just did a huge eyeshadow palette declutter. I did this video in the fall also, my top palettes for fall, so I chose out my top palettes for spring. So jumping into it, first off, and this is why I said 11, 12 is like an honorable mention, which I also did in the fall, but I have these two little palettes here from e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm kind of like counting them together because these are their new mint palettes. So e.l.f. has a pretty wide range of their bite-sized palettes. These are $3. The mint ones are $4 each, but all the other ones are $3. I'm not really sure why these are $4, but I feel like these are really fun for spring. Spring makes me think of a few different shades for the eyes. I mean, you know, obviously it's not too serious. You can wear whatever you want in whatever season, and I know not all of us are going into spring, so like it's just makeup, it's okay. But definitely one of the colors that I think of for spring is pastels, and that is what you get in these little 4-pan palettes, and I really enjoy both of them. So we have this one here is in chocolate mint, very fun, and the other one is in mint to be. So I mean, you could grab one, you could grab them both because together they are $8, which I think is cheaper than every other palette alone that I'm showing in this video. I kind of have a mixture in here, like newer palettes, older palettes, bigger palettes, smaller palettes, different color stories in here. But next up, you know what I chose out? I chose out this one from Huda Beauty. This is the Gold Obsessions palette. I really like this one, and I feel like this is a good one for spring. A little bit more on those lighter tones, some of these ethereal kind of like shade toppers, which I just think are so pretty. Obviously you have some golds in here. I like this palette. I know it's gotten some mixed reviews, but I actually really like it. I feel like mine is looking kind of dirty actually, but I think it's a good one, and I think it's a good one for spring. Shall we just get it over with my ColourPop palettes? I just watched the other day, my friend Andrea did her top palettes for spring too, and her first like several were also from ColourPop, and I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad because I think I have three here from ColourPop, but these definitely make me think spring. And the first one, this actually came out in their spring collection 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Now I can't remember, but the Sweet Talk. The Sweet Talk just, hi, gives me those vibes, gives me spring vibes, just gives me happy vibes. Let's just be honest. And I love the little tag here says, "You're pretty." You're pretty too. One of my favorite palettes from ColourPop, still to this day one of my favorite palettes, but I also think it's really beautiful for spring. I also chose out the Flutter By. The Flutter By is so beautiful, and I just, look at this one. Purples, I mean, purples is just one of my favorite shades in general to wear, but a really pretty purple palette just does something. These kind of have those lighter, kind of like a dustier mauve taupe tones to it. I think it's gorgeous. The packaging on this definitely makes me feel spring-like too, with the butterflies, and it's like we're all coming out of hibernation, we're ready to be awesome and beautiful butterflies. Had to mention the Flutter By. And then I also put in here the Main Squeeze. So this is one of the 9-pan monochromatic palettes from ColourPop, and this one is their red palette. But I feel there's a particular look that I do. And you guys can tell me if you do this too. There's a particular makeup look that I do with this palette, and I wear it with a particular top, and it just makes me feel spring ready. It makes me feel like I'm ready to go to the beach. It makes me feel like I'm ready to go on a yacht maybe. I mean, I don't know anyone with a yacht, but if any of you have a yacht, call me. But when I was going through all of my palettes, that look immediately came to mind, so I felt like I had to include the Main Squeeze. To include from BH Cosmetics the Chillin in Chicago. This is a little bit of a newer palette to me, but I have tried it a few times now, and so far I've been really enjoying it. It's very easy to work with, but I feel once again kind of some of these lighter tones in here, some of these gold, some of these just really pretty shimmers. It kind of gave me that kind of softer spring-like type of vibe, so I wanted to include it, give a little update that so far I still have been really enjoying this one from BH. I know a lot of people have been really hyping the brand up recently, so this was kind of my foray back into trying some of them. And I mean, Chicago in the springtime, very pretty. Next up, one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. We all knew that this one was coming in here. It's the Sigma Beauty Cor De Rosa. Like, how could I not, like, even just packaging? But look at this. This is high. This is, it's spring. This is, it's time to get our warm weather on. This is it. And obviously I enjoy it a lot. I talk about it a lot. It looks very, very loved. This poor palette it looks very loved, and I'm very light-handed, but it's truly one of my favorites from Sigma, and the color scheme screams spring to me. Next up, we have a collab palette. This is Sydney Grace in collaboration with Mel Thompson. This is the Tiny Marvels palette. I think that this is such a fun palette. And to me, it definitely does have some spring vibes in here. Once again, some of these pastel shades, Jewel Bee, even Mantis, Flutter By. You know, we do have some deeper tones over here too, which are very pretty, but I like this palette so much. I think the quality is so good. I think Mel did such a good job. And I feel like if we focus on like this over here, that's spring, right? That's spring. But then if you live somewhere like Iowa, where you have 70-degree weather one day and 30 degrees and snow the next day, boom, you can also bring in more of your winter look if you want. You know, whatever you want to do. Weather. Another favorite of mine from Natasha Denona, this is the Mini Love. The Mini. I decided to include the Mini in here because I hype up the Love palette all the time. We all know it's a favorite of mine. If you're new to my channel, the Love palette is a favorite of mine, just so you know. But the Mini Love, I mean, I think that she's a good one too. I enjoy my Mini Love, and we have some of the purples in here, which clearly is another theme for my spring video, but purple to me is just like such a happy color, and I think that this palette is beautiful, so I think this would make a great spring palette for your collection, and it's only $25 compared to the $65 of the larger palette. And then speaking of purple, I think Andrea put this one in her video too. Now I can't remember, but I know she had one from Kaleidos, but this is the Futurism 3 Astro Pink palette. This is a really fun palette. This is the first one that I tried from Kaleidos. It was this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this one. And it's just, once again, got some purples in here. You know, we do have like a darker shade here on the end, but we have some of these lighter tones. The shimmers in here are so beautiful. Kaleidos has a really, really nice eyeshadow palette formula, and this one is such a fun one. All right, and then the 11th palette or 12th palette, however you'd like to play it, my honorable mention. Yes, my honorable mention. This is from Sigma Beauty, and this is their new Ivy eyeshadow palette. So Sigma Beauty just released these on the go palettes. They are available on the website now, but they just released these palettes. I just got them a couple days ago, but I immediately started putting them on my eyes. Ritzy was the first one that I used, and the quality is fantastic. We know that I love Sigma eyeshadow palettes. Again, Cor De Rosa, Untamed, they have a great eyeshadow palette formula that I highly recommend. But when I got this in the mail and I saw these mini palettes, I was like, I felt like they made these for me, and I was very excited. And when I saw the Ivy palette, this is the one that kind of jumped out to me for spring. So it's not really pastel. It's not really the purple tones. And even, you know, we have like a darker tone here with Thistle, but kind of looking at like this right here, I feel like that's just kind of these fun, not really like jewel tones, but what am I trying to say? Once again, the word like ethereal is popping into my head. Those are what some of those tones say to me. I mean, even Macaron down here, just really these two on the bottom are the darkest shades, but something about this middle shade also kind of maybe gave me like a little bit of like mermaid vibes. I don't know, are mermaids more summer? I wanted to sneak this one in here because I felt like this one out of all of them called to me the spring the most. And Envy, you know, kind of like our grass is growing back type of thing, a little bit of green. I just really wanted to mention this because I'm super hyped for these palettes, but I haven't actually tried Ivy yet, so I didn't want to include it in my top 10 because I felt like that was kind of cheating. So once again, I have an honorable mention in this video, but I would definitely check these out from Sigma because the quality of the ones that I have tried so far are fantastic, and I think Ivy looks really pretty for spring. All right, that is it for today's video. My top 10, 11, 12 eyeshadow palettes for spring. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this one. I will link all of them down below if you are curious to check out any more about these palettes. But if you enjoyed this video, if you like the eyeshadow palette videos, please do give this video a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.